Deshaun Watson is a Cleveland Brown, and you have an interesting take about the money. He inked a new 5-year deal, $230 million, fully guaranteed. They are sending to Houston, the Browns are sending 3 first-rounders, 22 this year, 23 and 24, a 2023 third-rounder, and a 24 fourth-rounder. Is Cleveland where Deshaun wanted to go, or is that where the money was?
That's where the money was. I mean, look, this was always about money. I tweeted that out 2 days ago, that there were 2 negotiations taking place. One with the Texans in terms of compensation. The other with Deshaun Watson's agent and what his new compensation was going to be as this market changes. You know, stay tuned for Denver redoing Russell Wilson's contract. I mean, the quarterback market is volatile right now because of all the things that have occurred, Aaron Rodgers' contract, etc. But this was always about money. This was about money. And when the Browns left, they were told they were out. The only way they could get back in was to do an NBA contract. This is the first NBA contract. Now, we have to see it if it's all buttoned up like the NFL, but this is the first NFL contract where it's all going to be buttoned up, fully guaranteed, skill and injury for the entire length, which will be fascinating. Now, they lowered the base salary this season, which you typically do to buy some cap room. They still have Baker Mayfield at $18 million on their cap. We'll get to him in a minute. Mm-hmm. But because of that $18 million, they lowered his cap number for Deshaun Watson, and he'll be easy to fit in their cap. They had plenty of cap room. And he walks in, as I wrote about on vsin.com, this is a really good situation for Deshaun Watson. It really is. Most teams that were involved were going to have to give up the 3 number ones plus a player, a significant player. The Browns didn't have to do this because Watson declared to them. And now the Browns kept their team intact. A really good offensive line, a really good running back. And what I like most about this trade is the Stefanski scheme for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson can throw drop-back passes. There's no doubt about that. But where I think he'll really excel, which is what I wish Baltimore would do with Lamar Jackson, is run this outside zone, bootleg, the Kyle Shanahan Stefanski scheme, which I think Watson will be really dynamic in. And I think he'll really enhance this Browns offense. One of the concerns about Baker Mayfield, which I had when he played at Georgia, when he played at Oklahoma, and when you watched him against Georgia, throwing the ball outside the numbers if it's not a 9 route, right? He can't find it. The number one thing he used to say, always going back to the huddle at Oklahoma, was, I didn't see it. And you could probably ask Odell Beckham, and he would say the same thing that he told him when he was in Cleveland. Why was the Browns' passing game so inside? Mayfield couldn't see. And when teams rushed him a certain way, it became challenging. That's not going to happen anymore. I think the Browns, really, by making this trade, is really set themselves up to be one of the 8 teams, Patrick, one of the 8 in the AFC that have a legitimate chance to be a AFC representative for the Super Bowl.
Well, you can check out Michael's latest column at vsin.com. He goes in depth. The Browns now the AFC North's most complete team. And as you mentioned that, first off, their Super Bowl odds dip 35-1 before the trade. After acquiring Deshaun Watson, Cleveland now 15-1, their 7th betting favorite, 4th shortest in the AFC. And then the North, Michael, they're now favorites at plus 150. Yeah. The Ravens and Bengals are plus 225. So as you write at vsin.com, they're your most complete team now in that division.
Right. Look, let's talk Ravens, right? We got questions with Lamar. All these quarterbacks getting paid, Lamar's not. They're not even negotiating with Lamar right now. So that's a problem. I don't think the offense fits Lamar. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that now. Greg Roman can run the ball. He has no passing game, and he doesn't do anything to help Lamar. I was actually with Bobby Petrino 2 weeks ago at Missouri. We talked at length about it. Lamar is much better under center than people give him credit for. Just watch some of the Clemson tape. They haven't changed that offense. I don't like where the Ravens are on defense. New defensive coordinator. Are they going to have enough pass rush? Are they going to be able to cover in the back end? That's a question mark. Let's go to Cincinnati. Cincinnati signs 2 offensive linemen. They're getting better in their offensive line, no doubt. Are they going to be as good on defense, right? Are they going to be as good on defense as they were last year? That's going to be fascinating to see. I think they're going to be slightly improved, but they are now the hunted one. They now have to play a first-place schedule. I think that's going to be tough. The Browns get to play that third-place schedule, or their fourth-place schedule, That makes them perfectly set up to be a representative. And if they continue to improve their team, look, they're going to trade Mayfield. There's no doubt. Now, here's the issue. Mayfield has no trade value. They asked for a second and a third-round pick from a team for Mayfield. They asked for a 1 from another team. Everybody's laughing at him. Why? Mayfield's on the books for $18 million. He has no future years on a contract. Does anybody want to pay Mayfield $35 or $40 million? Absolutely not. He was overdrafted by the Browns. Overdrafted, and that's what's bumped up this contract. They really might have to do something. I mean, I was told one team, you should be giving us something to take the contract off your hands. Now, they don't need the cap room, right? They don't need the cap room, but they're going to need the cap room. But I think the market for Baker is small. Seattle's not involved. I don't believe Carolina, as of today, is involved, right? Indianapolis is indifferent. If Indianapolis could get him for nothing, they may take him because they've got a ton of cap room. But where are they going with him? They don't want to pay him $45 million. It's a one-year rental. Who is going to be in play for Mayfield as a starter? Look, this is not complicated, right? The starting quarterbacks in the NFL, there's 32 of them. And you could list them, right? And, you could say it's Trubisky in Pittsburgh. They're not interested in him. They're not going to trade for him after they just signed Trubisky and they got Rudolph. So go through the teams. Who involved besides New Orleans, besides Carolina, besides some of these other teams are involved. Yeah. I think it's going to be a real challenge. Seattle's not in it. Carolina's not. Indianapolis. Those are the three, right? New Orleans would be 4. I don't see it.
Yeah, I want to come back and explore Baker. Look, the quarterback position as far as a premium quarterback, that's a finite – it's finite, right? Like this is you start to depreciate, and Baker's part of that depreciation. Now, first off, I hope you and Bobby Petrino weren't riding motorcycles, Michael. We got to keep you safe. Secondly,
no doubt. No doubt.
No need for you to comment on that. Secondly, were you shocked that Deshaun Watson ended up with the Browns?
I was surprised, no doubt. I was told the day – it's funny. I got a text from somebody that's a huge Cleveland Browns fan. Michael Simon, he asked me what I heard. I said, I heard the Browns are right in this. And then an hour later, that came out they weren't involved. And right. So the source that told me that looked wrong. And then I think the way they got back in this is simply, look, they called up Houston and they called up Watson and said, look, if we do this, can we get back in? And really, this was always about money. Don't ever forget the offseason is always about money. It's always about money. We listen to all this other stuff. It's always about money. Money motivates it, and that's where it went to. And I think ultimately that's why Cleveland was able to get back in. Because who wanted to guarantee all this money? Some of the teams that were trying to be involved in this didn't want to do any more with the contract.
Any action with the quarterbacks this offseason? Tom Brady retired, then didn't. Aaron Rodgers refound what he was looking for in Green Bay. Russell Wilson got closer to God in Denver altitude.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is a commander. MVP Mitch is in the Steel City. Dr. Cousins got paid. And Deshaun Watson is a Brown. And we're not done yet.
Yeah. And look, if Houston wanted Mayfield, they would have probably thrown him in the deal.
By the way, did you see Russell Wilson has a new tagline? Every time he finishes a sentence, he says, "Let's ride." He is weird.
Yeah, let's ride.
Your boy,
he'll be signing a new deal. Yeah.
He's going to sign a new. 33 years old. He's going to get paid, man.